This is the kinda oddly shaped but well-known BlackBerry Passport released in 2014. And this is the new BlackBerry KEYone released in 2017. They might look very different from the outside, but their specs are kinda similar. Let's compare the two and see which one's better for you. They might look very different at first glance, but they do share some design characteristics with each other, especially with the BlackBerry Passport Silver Edition. They both have a silver frame surrounding the sides and the front speaker grille, but the KEYone uses aluminum for that, while the Passport uses a more high quality steel frame. They both feel premium though, and they also have a similar soft touch back cover. The KEYone uses a dot-shaped pattern here, while the BlackBerry Passport uses a diamond pattern. I'd say the KEYone's just a bit softer. But of course there's an even more obvious difference, it's the keyboard. Both feature physical keyboards. The Passport uses a 3-row keyboard and the KEYone a more BlackBerry traditional 4-row. It's debatable which one's better, but for me it's the BlackBerry KEYone's. The Passport has bigger and wider keys which don't feature symbols though. The KEYone does, alongside Alt and Shift keys. For the click, I'd say it's about the same. I showed videos about both keyboards which you can watch by clicking up here in the top right corner. The two feature touch-enabled keyboards, so you can use them like a trackpad, for example to scroll through a website or swipe through a home screen or through your Instagram feed or your pictures. And I'd say the BlackBerry Passport wins here because it just feels a lot smoother while swiping, and it's also available in more apps. The KEYone also features an extremely fast fingerprint sensor in the spacebar, which the BlackBerry Passport does not. It might not seem like it at first, but they do share the same screen size of 4.5 inches, of course with a different aspect ratio. The KEYone uses a 3:2 aspect ratio and the Passport a 1:1 square aspect ratio. Last of which is also sharper with 1440 by 1440 pixels and 453 pixels per inch, versus the 1080 by 1620 pixel and 433 pixels per inch screen of the BlackBerry KEYone. Both are IPS LCD screens, but you don't really notice a difference between them, and I think there's no need for any of them to be any sharper. Having the 3:2 aspect ratio, it's a lot better to watch videos or pictures or Android apps on the BlackBerry KEYone, although it's still not perfect. You still get black bars, for example, while watching videos, and the square screen of the BlackBerry Passport is a lot better for spreadsheets or documents. Productivity is the key feature here. Both phones have the same amount of buttons, one power button, 2 volume control rockers, and there's one more. It's the convenience key for the KEYone, making it possible to quickly open apps you assign to that button. On the Passport, it's more like a mute or pause key in between the volume rockers. They also have similar sized batteries. The Passport has a 3450 mAh battery, while the KEYone has a 3505 mAh battery. The performance is similar, however, running Android apps on the Passport can quickly drain it. And that's something the KEYone executes better, obviously, because it's optimized to run Android. 6 hours of heavy usage isn't a problem at all with it. So let's continue with the last hardware thing of this video, and it's the cameras. The KEYone features a 12 megapixel f2.0 aperture camera, which shares the same sensor with the Google Pixel. Pictures are sharper and also a lot better in low light than the BlackBerry Passport, which has a 13 megapixel f2.0 aperture camera. I really do like the look of the HDR pictures you get from the Passport though. Here you see some pictures to judge for yourself. Autofocus is also much quicker on the KEYone, and it often hunts for focus on the Passport. 4K video recording is also possible on the KEYone at 30 frames per second. The front camera is also better on the KEYone since it features an 8 megapixel f2.2 aperture non-autofocus lens, and the BlackBerry Passport only has a 2 megapixel f2.8 aperture lens, which is very soft and bad. So let's continue with the software and OS, and this is where things get interesting. The Passport runs BlackBerry 10, which is BlackBerry's last operating system. The Snapdragon 801 processor and the Adreno 330 GPU really suit this phone and make the gesture-based operating system run extremely smoothly. It's really productivity focused and gets shit done in a very quick and efficient way. It's an extremely secure OS which uses special encryption that makes it almost impossible for hackers to get in. This is also why, for example, the German Chancellor Angela Merkel used a BlackBerry Q10 for many years. But the Passport does have one serious problem, and I think you guessed it, it's the apps. It does run Android apps, and there's even the Amazon App Store pre-installed, and even the Google Play Store is possible through some ways. Those apps only work till Android runtime 4.3 though, and if a newer app requires 4.4, it won't run on BlackBerry 10. And because of some contracts with Google, BlackBerry is also not able to update this runtime anytime in the future, so there's really no hope for recovery. Also, apps like WhatsApp stopped working at the end of 2017, making it difficult to use the Passport if you need those apps. And to make it even worse, the Google Play services aren't supported either. But what does work is email and text and work. The KEYone uses a Snapdragon 625 processor with an Adreno 506 GPU. It's not the fastest processor, but it also really nicely gets the job done and powers through Android almost flawlessly. It's also really battery friendly. Android is a plus for many, but it doesn't share the same security-focused design like the BlackBerry Passport does. It's not secured out of the box. BlackBerry makes it secure through monthly security updates and tweaks. There are apps like Detect for BlackBerry that monitor the phone's level of security, shows you tips and tricks on how to enhance it, or even notifies you when an app is, for example, using your location without you knowing it. And that's great for businesses. On the KEYone, you get all the positive things of Android, like the apps or the social media capabilities. And there's also a hub which acts similar to the one on BlackBerry 10. It's just not as good as it is on the old OS, and it's also not as nicely integrated. So the KEYone and the BlackBerry Passport are great phones, and that is why many people ask themselves, should I keep the Passport, should I upgrade to the KEYone, or should I even buy a BlackBerry Passport as my first BlackBerry? I think you can choose for yourself after watching this video. The BlackBerry KEYone is definitely future-proof with Android and all the apps you can get. I guess you could use the BlackBerry Passport for another year or so, but it could get tricky if an app you really heavily depend on suddenly upgrades their runtime to Android 4.4 and you can suddenly not use it anymore. And this is the problem with the Passport. I'd say get the BlackBerry KEYone if you want to go Android. In my opinion, it still carries the BlackBerry characteristics packaged in a beautiful body, even though it doesn't have the perfect OS called Android. So if you like this video, make sure you like the video, make sure you subscribe to my channel if you want to stay updated with the newest videos about BlackBerry and more. Also make sure to comment on this video, will you buy the BlackBerry KEYone? Make sure to follow me on my social media channels, Instagram and Twitter, and my BlackBerry Messenger channel pin is in the description box below. See you in my next video. Until then, bye.